The Great Inventors is a brilliant episode of This Is America, Charlie Brown. This is the 6th episode, and in this one, various Peanuts characters, namely Linus and Peppermint Patty and Charlie Brown, are giving reports about different inventors. We have Alexander Graham Bell and Thomas Edison, and Charlie Brown also discusses the automobile. I foolishly forgot to write down the name of the person who was credited with creating the automobile, but those are the three kind of main subjects. And I have to say, the structure is really great. It's mostly them standing at the front of the class giving the talks, but when we see the action on screen, it's actually those characters visiting those people. For example, Linus goes to Alexander Graham Bell's home and gets to observe various things, and we get to see how these inventions came to be. And I think that that's a brilliant way to tell the story, because initially it started off with Sally talking to the class, and it just seemed like that's all it was going to be. And I thought, this can't be right. Charlie Brown's much more creative than this. So it did take a couple of minutes to get going, but once it did, I thought it was a really brilliant structure, really well animated. I don't personally have any preferences. That's maybe not the right word, but I didn't have any ideas in my head of what I wanted from, for example, Thomas Edison. I don't have an idea in my head of what he would look like when he was moving and things. So for me, the depictions of those figures were good. I quite liked them. I thought they fitted their personalities for what I was perhaps expecting. It's very educational, it's very informative. At times it can obviously be quite scientific, but I don't think it's too complicated that it makes it too difficult to understand. We also get some actual footage. For example, there are some live action clips during Charlie Brown talking about the invention of the automobile. We get to see people driving these early car models, and I can't even imagine what that would feel like to kind of be behind the wheel of a car when it's just been invented. It must just be such an incredible feeling, this great new sense of freedom. The same with, for example, when the train, a couple of episodes ago, or it might have even been the previous episode, talked about locomotives. And I just think it was such an amazing time of discovery and invention, and it must have just been so wonderful. And this episode really helps to kind of give that feeling that it was a time where almost anything seemed possible because everything was moving so quickly. And it's just so fascinating. It is really well done. Yeah, it took a couple of minutes to get going. It wasn't off to the strongest start, but once it got underway, I thought The Great Inventors was really interesting, very well animated, great mix of characters. I always like Peppermint Patty. Whenever she's in charge of part of the story, I always think she's rather fabulous. Definitely one of the strongest This Is America Charlie Browns, because it's very educational, very informative, and very entertaining. It ticks all of the boxes, and I really thoroughly enjoyed it.